Imagine this. The best pasta sauce you have ever tasted sits abandoned on a plate. Wasted sauce. That is a tragedy. If only you had used Barilla al Bronzo pasta. Its bronze-cut texture holds your sauce and scoops up every last drop. The Italians call that scarpetta. Capture sauce the Italian way. Barilla al Bronzo. Click or tap the banner to find out more.
The following is a Red Apple Podcast Network presentation.
They say this is a big rich town. I just come from the poet's part. Bright light, city life, I gotta make it.
Welcome to Dominic Carter's podcast. This is Dominic Carter's City Hall. Now, here's Dominic Carter.
Dominic Carter, Red Apple Podcast, Talk Radio 77 WABC. You can listen to me live on the radio Monday through Friday, midnight to 1 a.m., midnight to 1 a.m. The videos were released on the same day of Friday, the Pelosi tapes and the ones from the Tyre Nichols police case in Memphis, Tennessee. This is my podcast. Let's go. And what a day that Friday was. First came the Pelosi tapes, then the nation braced in the evening time for the release out of Memphis. We had been warned that the tapes in the Tyre Nichols case was horrible, and they were. What happened to that young man was inhumane. Full stop. But it's easy to be caught up in the moment. Perhaps it's only natural for some to demand the end of the Scorpion Police Unit, which these officers were part of, and it has been disbanded. But let's please look at why the Scorpion Unit was put in place to begin with. Why out of control crime, and what is already happening again with the unit gone in Memphis, out of control crime. One of the latest headlines since then, since the Tyre Nichols case, Memphis library shooting leaves one dead and a police officer in extremely critical condition. All Memphis needs to do is look to New York City. We ended the street crimes unit the same practically as the Scorpion unit, and crime in New York has been out of control since then. Keep the unit. Increase supervision of it, or it's back to criminals controlling the streets. It really is that simple. That brings me to the young man's funeral and Vice President Kamala Harris, who gave a reported unscheduled address, but it was emotional, denouncing the actions of these officers. I'm still on the fence regarding whether or not the vice president should have been there at the funeral of Tyre Nichols in Memphis. It's hard not to notice a presidential election is right around the corner. I just want all of you to understand that politicians have their own agenda and politicians pander to constituents. Please keep that in mind. Here is part of what the vice president had to say at the funeral.
Mothers around the world, when their babies are born, pray to God when they hold that child, that body and that life will be safe for the rest of his life. Yet we have a mother and a father who mourn the life of a young man who should be here today. They have a grandson who now does not have a father. His brothers and sister will lose the love of growing old with their baby brother. And when we look at this situation, this is a family that lost their son and their brother through an act of violence at the hands and the feet of people who had been charged with keeping them safe.
No one can disagree with that. The police officers were charged with keeping Mr. Nichols safe. And let's pause for a second to keep all of this in perspective. I believe in my heart 90% of police officers are good people that do their jobs each and every day, trying to keep all of us safe with their lives on the line. Vice President Kamala Harris continued.
This violent act was not in pursuit of public safety. It was not in the interest of keeping the public safe, because one must ask, was not it in the interest of keeping the public safe that Tyre Nichols would be with us here today? Was he not also entitled to the right to be safe? So when we talk about public safety, let us understand what it means in its truest form. Tyre Nichols should have been safe.
The 5 officers involved in the incident are facing murder charges, and a 6th officer has also now been fired. Let's switch gears to the tapes released in the attack on Paul Pelosi.
Your burger is served, and this is our finest Pepsi Zero Sugar. Its sweet profile perfectly balances the savory notes of your burger.
That is one perfect combination. Burgers deserve Pepsi.
So the world has now seen the tapes on the attack of then Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband. 2 issues bother me. When the police arrived at the residence, 1, it looked like a social gathering, and Mr. Pelosi even held that drink consistently in his left hand. 2, that had to be the worst 911 dispatcher ever. Paul Pelosi is trying to tip off the dispatcher without alarming his attacker, David DePape. Listen for yourself.
Oh, I guess I called by mistake. What is this?
18 seconds. This is San Francisco Police. Do you need help?
Oh, well, there's a gentleman here just waiting for my wife to come back. Nancy Pelosi.
2:23 and
he's just waiting for her to come back, but she's not going to be here for a day, so I guess we'll have to wait.
0.
Okay, do you need police, fire, or medical for anything?
8 seconds.
I don't think so.
0, 2, 23 and 58 seconds.
Is the Capitol Police around?
2:20.
No, this is San
They
Francisco.
protect my wife. They're usually here at the house protecting my wife.
No, this is San Francisco Police.
Friday, October.
I understand.
8.
So Paul Pelosi is asking for the Capitol Police. That alone should have told the 911 dispatcher immediately that this was not a normal situation. The dispatcher says, call us back if you need us.
Okay, well,
0, 2, 24 and
what do you think?
18 seconds.
Think everything's good? He thinks everything's good. I've got a problem, but he thinks everything's good.
0, 2,
okay.
24
Call us back if you change your mind.
8
No.
seconds.
This gentleman just came into the house, and he wants to wait here for my wife to come home.
0, 2,
And so,
24 and 48.
Anyway, he told me to put the phone down.
Do you know who the person is?
No, I don't know who he is. He has this. He's telling me not to. He's telling me not to do anything.
What is your address, sir?
26.
2:25 and 0.
What is your name?
Seconds.
My name is Paul Pelosi.
Friday.
Anyway, this gentleman says that he thinks everything ought to, he's telling me to put the phone down and just do what he says.
And 18 seconds.
Okay?
Okay, what's the gentleman's name?
I don't know. What's that?
My name's David.
The name is David.
Okay, and who is David?
I don't know. What's that?
I'm a friend of theirs.
Yeah, he says he's a friend, but as I said, I've never.
But you don't know who he is?
No, ma'am.
And then this is how the 911 call ended.
Okay.
He's telling me I'm being very leading, so I got to stop talking to you, okay?
25 and
Okay.
50
You sure I can stay on the phone with you just to make sure everything's okay?
No, he wants me to get that off the phone.
0 to 26
Okay.
and 08
Thank you.
seconds.
Okay, bye.
This 911 dispatcher should look at retirement or certainly be forced to be retrained. This call should be a lesson to all 911 operators throughout the country of everything not to do in handling a call. And that wraps up this episode, folks. Thank you for joining us. You can catch me on 77 WABC Radio weeknights, Monday through Friday, midnight to 1 a.m., midnight to 1 a.m. Go check out the Dominic Carter merchandise at the 77 WABC store, from Dominic Carter t-shirts to hats and much more. Go to WABCRadiostore.com. Dominic Carter, Red Apple Podcast, Talk Radio 77, WABC.
Dominic Carter Socials on Twitter at Dominic TV and Facebook and Instagram. Dominic Carter TV. Email at dominic.carter@wabcradio.com. Until the next episode, be well. And as Dominic always says, stay positive. The glass is always half full, never half empty. Dominic Carter City Hall.